This is where it all began. A once proud motorcycle now leaning lifeless against a scrap pile, its future uncertain. Most would see this as nothing more than twisted metal and faded paint, but I saw a story worth telling. A VIN number led me down a rabbit hole. First, a Carfax report revealing the exact date of the crash. That date took me to the accident report, and suddenly the pieces started to fall into place. I went to the crash site, standing where the pavement still carries the memory of that day. From the police report to the tow truck driver's account, I could see exactly how it happened. This is the start of a journey, not just to rebuild a motorcycle, but to bring it back from the edge. This is the crash site right here. He came around that corner, missed the corner. He skipped over this driveway, hit the street sign that used to sit there, and launched it all the way down into this frog pond. The road is all the way up there. You can see where the white car is. See all that swamp? This was probably quite full at the time. They said the front of the bike when they recovered it was underwater down in this frog pond. It's pretty crazy how all of this worked out. I went to the towing company, this automotive repair yard, and as you saw, this was leaning up against a pile of scrap metal. I asked them what the deal is with it, and they said that they had brought it in because a kid had crashed it in the next town over and that it ended up in a bog. I asked them, did anybody die on it? So they said no, but he got hurt really bad, and they didn't really remember roughly when the crash had happened, but they said they had had the bike for a little while, for several months. So I took the VIN off it and ran it through Carfax, and then that gave me all kinds of information. The Carfax report told me that this bike was brand new in Hawaii. That tells me this bike probably has a bazillion miles on it. As you can see, it's got no cluster, no dash, no mileage, so I have no idea how many miles are on this bike, but I'm sure it is a ton. The Carfax report also said that this had been in Georgia for a little while, and then it went to New Hampshire. So then I went online and searched main crashes in that town. There were only 2 on that day. One was a girl, one was a guy. And it gave me the name of the person that crashed. I paid $10 to get a copy of the accident report, and that told me exactly where it occurred and how it happened. And the accident report said that it had gone off the road, hit a sign, flipped over, and then it went down into a frog pond. So once I knew the address and the location of the crash, I drove out there hoping to find some of the parts. I really wanted to find the dash for this bike. And now we got it back to my place, and it is pretty rough. No idea if it runs, but it will turn over. It's got a lot of dirt from where it went down into the bog or the frog pond. It's got some bent parts. I'll try to straighten some of this stuff out. Hopefully the rim's okay. You can see how it's got some dirt embedded in between the beads, so I'll have to pull the front wheel off and try to reseat that front tire. Now you get a pretty good idea of how bent that whole subframe is. Pegs are all broken off it. Maybe gonna need a new radiator. I don't know. You can see it's bent, how it's straight there, and then it goes downhill over there. So the gear shift's broken. The pegs are broken off on this side. It's gonna need a new rear subframe. But before we go doing anything, taking stuff apart, it's always nice to clean it before you do that. So that way, it makes just putting everything back together so much easier. So we're gonna go bring it to the car wash. I also need what's called a tip-over sensor, and what that does is there's a sensor that mounts right up in here that prevents the bike from starting. It doesn't allow the fuel pump to turn on, so in the event the bike tips or crashes, it'll shut off the fuel pump and the bike will die, so that way it's not pumping fuel and then everything catches fire and makes a big hellacious mess. So I think what we're going to do is I've done a little bit of research online, and I'm going to try to bypass that tip-over switch. I can do that using a paper clip to jump the red and the green prongs on here. And that'll simulate as though there's actually a switch in place. Let's hope for the best. Boy, wouldn't that be nice if it's got a K&N filter in it? That'd be pretty sweet. Then I wouldn't have to buy one, I'd just clean it. Oh, I hear the fuel pump, listen. Hear that? Okay. Turn it on. Whoa. Huh. Doesn't sound like it's running on all cylinders. Nope, maybe it does. pull the rags out of the intake, it might run a little better. There we go. Wow, runs wicked good. Sounds like it's got an exhaust leak though. That's the water pump right there. I'll try to pull the radiator cap and see if it's pumping. So I'm not wasting antifreeze. Let me throw some distilled water in it and see if we got a leak. I mean, it is leaking some stuff on the ground here on the trailer, but I did just wash the bike. It didn't take very much. Let's... Yeah, I think it's popped. Look. Yeah, I'll just order a new radiator. Yeah, it's popped. But now that we know that it runs, it doesn't smoke, the motor's not loud, it's not ticking, we can actually sink a little bit of money into this. Wow, what a relief. I'm so excited that this thing runs and it sounds really healthy. Remember how I told you there were 2 accidents in that town? One was a guy, one was a girl, and that's how I found the location by getting the crash report. Well, it also gave me a name. So then I went online and started searching social media. And guess what? Lo and behold, I got a hold of the guy that crashed this bike. Him and I have been going back and forth talking online, and he had kept the dash. I am so excited. He doesn't have the tip over sensor, but he does have the dash, and he wanted to save it as a souvenir. So I told him if he's willing to part with that dash, I will pay him for it, and I'll also give him this tank cover that was on it, the original Honda tank cover. And he said that he would love to do that. He checked out my social media because I told him what I was going to do with this bike, and then it was going to become a rebuild series, and he asked if I would sign the tank cover. So hopefully, I'm supposed to be meeting up with him tonight. I'm so excited. I hope this works out because I really want to get that dash. You remember seeing this? Yeah. How's it going, man? Yeah. It's nice meeting you. Take that. How you doing?
Yeah, this is...
Dude, you got messed up.
They, you have the tendon right here where it helps you extend it.
Yeah.
Come back. Mine tore it off, so they had to make a new one. We grabbed it from my thigh. And then put a metal plate here and a metal rod.
In your hand?
Yep, and in my hand I have a metal rod.
So I went there and looked at the crash, and that sign is not there anymore, but I brought up a Google map. Did your hand hit that metal sign?
So my whole body, like whole left side hit the sign. I spin around it.
Do you realize how close you were to the telephone pole that was there?
Yeah.
Like, if you hit the telephone pole, you'd probably been dead.
My helmet, I don't have my helmet. They took that.
Yeah.
They split in half because of the sign.
Man, you got some lucky. I want to give you some money too. I told you I was going to give you some money for it. Does that sound fair enough?
Sir. My friend, he was riding right behind me. He said it looked like a cartoon like I don't really remember all of it.
Yeah.
So once I hit it and I stood up.
Yeah.
Everything was like really white and like really lightheaded.
Was you soaked? Was you in the bog? Did you end up in the bog?
It, like, by an inch.
They said the bike was in the bog.
Yeah.
I said, what's going on with that bike? They said, well, kid crashed it out in Vassalboro. And I said, did anyone die on it? That's not good juju, you know what I mean? He said no, but he got messed up pretty bad. So, did you mess your leg up? They said your leg got messed up too.
My knee, it landed on my knee and my hand.
Man, you got lucky.
Flipped into the road. My friend said I thought I died, so I stood up. I walked about 2-3 steps.
Yeah?
And then I collapsed and don't remember anything else. I woke up at the hospital, main med.
Do you have any more surgeries you got to do?
They're thinking I have one more in my hand if a bone doesn't heal.
Really? So I just had a knee surgery. I had 4 knee surgeries on my knee. I ended up tearing my ACL. I tore it again, and I'm still rehabbing that. So I can relate. You do your ACL too?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Your left?
Yeah.
My right. So between the two of us, we got 2 good legs. There you go. How's that look?
Yeah.
Very cool.
I appreciate it. This is just going to make it so much easier to be able to register it and the title and all that.
So. It literally ripped right off the frame.
That's crazy. So I had to buy a new one of these, this piece right here. So this I'll end up having, I'll take apart and bolt onto the dash. So there you go now. Here's the shirt and some stickers. And you got my number now, yes, so you're going to look me up, and when I get this thing done, we'll take it for a rip. I really, really, really appreciate you helping me out. This was a huge help for me. Cool, man. I appreciate it. Thanks again.
Thank you.
You have a good night. I won't take any more of your time. I can't believe it. I am so excited that I got this. I took the stay, the metal stay that was on the back that was all broken. I took that off, put the screws back in it. I'm going to have to order a new stay, but here it is. So here we go. We're going to see how many miles that this bike has on it. Like I said, it is going to be a lot because this bike came from Hawaii and the weather is great there. So they probably drove this every single day. And this is a 2004. So it has been in a warm climate for most of its life. That's a good sign. The clock is on it. All right, anyone care to take any guesses? Wow. 50,299. Gas gauge even works. Neutral light works. Oil pressure sensor. Let's see if the blinkers work. Yeah, left blinker. Not all the blinkers are broken off it so that the flashers aren't going to work. Let's see. Right blinker. Yep. Awesome. Let's start it back up and see if the tack works. Okay, I got the sensor bypassed again. Okay, let's start it. This really restored my faith in good people. You know, everything he went through, this was kind of his memento for everything he's going through. And you saw all the scars and how banged up and beat up he got. And for him to part with this, it really meant a lot to me for him to do that, because a lot of people wouldn't. A lot of people just keep it and, you know, tell you to go pound sand. So I'm really grateful for him doing that for me. It's going to make registering it and getting it, just everything, you know, it's more meaningful to have the original dash to the bike with the original miles versus, you know, buying a dash on eBay that has 0 miles. It's a little more sketchier that way. Even though this does have high miles, it's original. So I'd rather have that. So now we can start working on this bike and start making some progress. And that's all for this episode. Be sure to tune in next week where we install all new pegs, replace the bent subframe on the back, install the new gauge cluster, and replace the radiator. If this is something that you like, please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Until next week, I will see you then. Take care, stay safe, and God bless.